Say you have a folder of images, but only need some of them, or any kind of file, and you have a list of the file names to separate from the rest. I'll show how to move the files or copy them on both Windows and Mac OS. But before I do, let me stress the importance of having a backup. If anything goes wrong, the methods I'll describe can easily ruin your files. So please, make sure to have a backup before going further. The most common mistake is failing to make the destination directory, the folder where the images are moved to. If the folder doesn't exist, it's assumed the destination is a file instead. So instead of moved, all the files are combined into a single file. A disaster with no way to undo it. So be sure to create the folder first. With that out of the way, let's get started. We'll create a batch file for Windows and a shell script for Mac OS. I'll start with Windows. First, choose a location where all of this happens. This location is where folders for the files should be and where we save the list and the batch file. For me, it's an external drive in a folder named Windows. The images are in a folder named Images. Whatever the location, take note of it. We'll need that in a bit. Before doing anything, make sure the destination folder exists. Missing this step leads to disaster. So create the folder now. I'll name it Selected. You can use any name, just know to use that name in the batch file. Next, we need a text file of the file names. If you already have one, good. Take note of the file name and skip the next step of making a list. If the file names are in a spreadsheet, for example, select the file names and copy. Then open Notepad and paste the file names. Save this as list.txt to the location you've chosen. Now make a new file. File menu, New. We'll use a DOS command to move the images. Enter // F space quote tokens equals asterisk quote space %% space in space parentheses list.txt in parentheses space do space move space quote images \% quote space quote selected quote. /F means run a loop on a file or files. Tokens equals asterisk means every line of the file. Note that's wrapped in quotes. %% is a variable that's the current line of the file. list.txt means the items to process are lines in the file list.txt. The file name goes in parentheses. Next is what to do for each line in the file. Do move. Then the move arguments. First the folder where the images are now. Then a \path separator and the variable %%, the current file name from the list. This combination of folder and file name should be wrapped in quotes. Otherwise, if either name has spaces, it won't work. Next is where to move the image. Again, wrap it in quotes so spaces don't break it. Selected is the folder name I chose. For good measure, I add another line and the command pause. This keeps the command window open, waiting for the user to press a key. That way, it doesn't close when done, and you can see any problems reported. Save the script at the same location as the list file. I'll name it move.bat. The name isn't important, but the extension is vital. It must be BAT. Close Notepad and go to the location of the files. Double-click the batch file. There you go. I'll move the files back to where they came from. Now for some variations. First, suppose you want to copy the files instead of moving them. Right-click the batch file. Select Edit. That opens it in Notepad. Instead of Do Move, change it to Do Copy. Go to the File menu, Save As. This time name it copy.bat. Close Notepad. Double-click the new batch file, and you can see the files in Selected are copies. The originals are still in the Images folder. I'll delete the copies. Next, suppose your list is the full paths to the files. For example, I'll open the Images folder and select a few. In the Home ribbon, there is a choice Copy Path. With the file selected, click that. Now open Notepad and paste. That makes a list of the full paths to the images. Go to the File menu, Save As. Name it list-fullpaths.txt. Close Notepad. Select Move.bat and right-click. Edit. 3 changes are needed. First, the file name for the list, which is list-fullpaths.txt. Then remove the folder name Images and / before the variable, because that's now in each line of the list file. And the variable needs to be a little different. %% is the file name only. To get the entire path, change it to %% $FA. The tilde and F makes it the full path rather than just the file name. Keep it wrapped in quotes, again to make sure spaces don't break it. Save that as move-fullpaths.bat. Close Notepad. Double-click the new batch file. And you can see that works too. Use whichever method fits your situation. Now for Mac OS. First, choose a location for the files. For me, it's an external drive in a folder named Mac OS. The images are in a folder named Images. Before doing anything, make sure the destination folder exists. Missing this step leads to disaster, so create the folder now. I'll name it Selected. You can use any name, just know to use that name in the script. Next, open Terminal. We have to be in the directory where the files are. Enter CD for Change Directory and a space. Then from Finder, drag the folder to the terminal window. I grab it from the path bar. If the path bar isn't showing, go to the View menu. Mine is already showing, so instead the choice is Hide. Drag the folder from the path bar to the terminal window. Then click the terminal window to make it active. Press the Return key, and we're in that folder. Now we'll make a list of files to move. Enter pico space list.txt and press Return. This opens the Pico text editor with a new file named list.txt. Use Command V to paste your file names. Now hold down Control and O. That's the Control key, not Command. O is for output, Pico's term for save. The file name to write should already be list.txt. Press Return and it's saved. Then Control X to exit Pico. Now make the script file. Again enter Pico, but this time move.sh for the file name. Enter these lines. While space read space F, new line, do space mv space quote images $$F quote space quote selected quote new line, done, space, left angle bracket, space, list.txt. While starts a loop that ends with done. Read reads the input, our file, list.txt, after the left angle bracket. F is a variable for the current line of the list. Then what to do with each line? Do mv. mv is the command for move. Next, the arguments for the move command. First is the file we want to move. Start with the folder where the files are located, images, then a /, the path separator in Unix. $sign means a variable reference, followed by our variable f, the current line in the list file. This combination of folder and file name should be wrapped in quotes. Otherwise, if either name has spaces, it won't work. Then the destination folder name, again wrapped in quotes so spaces doesn't break it. Last is a left angle bracket followed by the list file. The left angle bracket sends the contents of the file to the while command. Control-O and return to save the file, then Control-X to exit. Now, unlike Windows, we can't simply double-click the script file. Instead, run it from terminal. Type sh space move.sh. Press the return key. Back in Finder, we can see the files were moved. I'll move the files back to where they came from. Now for some variations. To copy instead of move, simply change the command. In terminal, enter pico space move.sh. Change the command mv to cp instead. That's the Unix command for copy. Control-O to save, but this time change the name to copy.sh. Then press return. Control-X to exit pico. Now enter sh space copy.sh. Press return. And you can see the files in selected are copies. The originals are still in the images folder. I'll delete the copies. Next, suppose your list is the full paths to the files. Copy the full paths. Then make a new list file. Enter pico space list-fullpaths.txt. Use Command V to paste the full paths. Control-O and return to save, then Control-X to exit. Next, a tweak to the script. Enter pico space move.sh. On the second line, remove images and the path separator before the variable, because that's now in each line of the list file. Keep the quotes because it could still have spaces and break otherwise. At the end, change the list file to list-fullpaths.txt. Control-O to save. Change the name to move-fullpaths.sh. Press return. Control-X to exit. Now try it. Enter sh space move-fullpaths.sh. And there it is. Use whichever method fits your situation. I've packed all the finished scripts into a download. Get it at the link in the description. Like this video if you found it helpful, and subscribe so you're notified of future videos. Also, leave a comment. I always like to hear from you. All feedback is welcome. There are plenty of other tutorials. Click the video or playlist on screen for more. Thank you for watching.